The galaxy had watched as Xandralis fell. Once the pinnacle of alien civilization, the Xandralian Empire had spanned hundreds of star systems, its influence unmatched. Its cities were marvels of engineering, its culture rich and ancient, and its technology centuries ahead of even the most advanced races. But when the plague came, it brought ruin. A virulent, incurable pathogen swept through Xandralis, decimating its people in mere months. Entire worlds were silenced, their vibrant metropolises left hollow. Neighboring species fled, fearing the plague might spread across the stars. The mighty empire was quarantined and forgotten, left to crumble under the weight of its tragedy. Yet humans stayed. It wasn't an act of mercy. Initially, humanity had no choice. Their colony ships had been mid-flight, venturing into Xandralian territory when the plague broke out. Cut off from their home systems by a sudden and enforced galactic blockade, they had landed on the outskirts of Xandralian space, scrambling to survive. What began as desperation turned into something else entirely. The humans discovered they were immune to the plague, a quirk of their biology that no one could explain. Xandralian cities, once teeming with life, now became humanity's refuge. At first, it was about scavenging, accessing the alien tech to build shelter, to harness power, and to defend themselves. But over time, as humanity learned the intricacies of Xandralian science and engineering, they began to rebuild. In the ruined city of Valtrios, a team of human engineers worked tirelessly. The towering spires, once symbols of Xandralian grandeur, were in a state of collapse. Struts of shimmering alloy lay twisted across streets paved with glowing crystal tiles. The humans patched walls with improvised materials, using everything from 3D printed polymers to salvaged starship hulls. One of them, a young engineer named Rhea, stood atop a scaffold, her hands smeared with synthetic grease. "Lift it slowly," she barked into her comlink. Below her, an enormous hover crane groaned as it hauled a salvaged power core into place. Nearby, a scientist named Dr. Malik monitored the core's stability on a portable holographic console. "Careful, Rhea," Malik warned. "If this thing destabilizes, it'll take the whole district with it." "We don't have time for careful," Rhea shot back. "If we don't restore power to the filtration systems, the groundwater's going to poison us all." This was the reality for humanity in Xandralis, a constant race against time to reclaim what they could before the planet turned completely hostile. The air was growing thick with spores from alien fungi, and strange predators lurked in the abandoned outskirts. Not everyone in the galaxy approved of humanity's efforts. News had trickled in, carried by illicit traders who dared to skirt the quarantine zones. Many alien races viewed the humans' occupation as sacrilege, a violation of the sanctity of Xandralian heritage. Others mocked them, claiming humanity was wasting its time trying to revive a dead empire. But humanity didn't see it that way. "This isn't about them," Captain Elias Anders, leader of the human settlement, told his people during a town hall meeting. They had gathered in what was once a grand Xandralian amphitheater, now repurposed with makeshift seating and portable heaters. "The Xandralians may be gone, but their legacy doesn't have to die with them. We're not just scavengers, we're stewards. This planet gave us shelter when no one else would. It's time we gave something back." And so they pressed on. Over the years, the humans learned to master the Xandralian technology. They repaired massive energy grids, reactivated climate control systems, and even restored portions of the planetary defense network. Each success was a victory not just against the decay of time, but against the notion that Xandralis had been abandoned to die. One day, while exploring a subterranean vault beneath the city, Rhea's team discovered something extraordinary: a preserved Xandralian artificial intelligence. It was dormant but intact, its data banks holding centuries of knowledge. When they managed to awaken it, the AI introduced itself as Kael'thos, an advisor once tasked with overseeing the Empire's scientific endeavors. "You are not Xandralian," Kael'thos observed, its deep voice echoing through the chamber. "No," Rhea replied, standing firm. "But we're here to help. Your people built wonders. We want to honor that." The AI was silent for a long moment, its crystalline core glowing faintly. Finally it spoke. "If you are willing to bear the burden, I will share what I know. But understand this, the path you choose will not be easy. The Xandralian legacy is one of immense power and immense responsibility." With Kael'thos' guidance, humanity's efforts accelerated. They began to unlock technologies that even the most advanced galactic civilizations had never imagined. Word spread across the stars, and attitudes began to shift. The same species that had abandoned Zandralis now looked on with a mix of awe and envy. Decades later, Valtrios stood not as a ruin, but as a thriving metropolis. Its spires reached toward the sky, gleaming with renewed brilliance. Humans and the few remaining Zandralians, saved by humanity's genetic breakthroughs, walked its streets side by side. Humanity had done more than survive. They had transformed Zandralis into a beacon of hope, proving that even in the face of abandonment and despair, determination and unity could breathe life into the ashes of a fallen empire. As the years turned into decades, the efforts to rebuild Zandralis reshaped not only the planet, but also humanity itself. The humans who had landed as refugees evolved into something more, a hybrid culture that honored their origins while embracing the grandeur of the Zandralian legacy. Their cities became hubs of collaboration, combining the practicality of human engineering with the artistry of Zandralian architecture. Kael'thas, the AI advisor, became a guiding force in this new society. With its help, humanity unlocked technologies that allowed them to terraform barren worlds, harness energy from distant stars, and even rewrite the genetic code of living organisms. These advances were not hoarded, they were shared. In the spirit of unity, humanity invited other species to visit the restored Zandralis, to witness its revival, and to partake in its knowledge. At first, the galaxy was hesitant. Many species still distrusted humans, seeing them as opportunists who had claimed a legacy that wasn't theirs. But when the first alien delegations arrived, they were stunned by what they saw. The cities of Zandralis were alive again, filled with light, energy, and purpose. More importantly, humanity had not erased the traces of the Zandralians but preserved them, dedicating museums, archives, and monuments to their memory. In one such museum, the Great Archive of Valtrios, Captain Elias Anders, now an elder statesman, stood with Rhea and Dr. Malik. Together, they gazed at a holographic display of the Zandralian star map, its countless systems glowing like jewels in the dim light. "We've come a long way," Anders said, his voice tinged with pride. "And we still have a long way to go," Rhea replied. "Kael'thas says there are entire Zandralian colonies out there that were cut off during the plague. We could find them, maybe even bring survivors back. Or rebuild their worlds too," Malik added. "We've proven it's possible." Kael'thas, projected as a shimmering figure nearby, spoke in its measured tone. The Zandralian Empire believed its strength lay in its technology and its reach. "But you humans have taught me something profound. Strength is not in what you possess. It is in what you create, in your resilience, and in your willingness to share." Anders smiled. "Then let's keep creating." As humanity expanded its influence, they became more than just the stewards of Zandralis. They became its ambassadors, spreading the lessons of cooperation and renewal across the stars. Former critics turned into allies, inspired by the humans' determination to not only survive but thrive in the face of impossible odds. The galaxy's perception of humanity shifted from skepticism to admiration. Years later, on the 100th anniversary of humanity's arrival on Zandralis, a grand celebration was held in Valtrios. Delegates from dozens of species attended, their ships filling the sky above the city. In the central plaza, a monument was unveiled, a massive sculpture depicting intertwined human and Zandralian figures, their hands outstretched toward the stars. Rhea, now older and bearing the scars of her years of work, stood at the podium. Her voice carried across the crowd, amplified by drones that hovered silently above. "This is not just a celebration of what we've built," she said. "It's a promise, to the Zandralians who came before us, to our fellow species, and to the generations that will come after us. We promise to honor the past, to uplift each other in the present, and to forge a future where no one is abandoned." The crowd erupted in applause, a mix of human voices and alien calls, their unity a testament to the transformation that had begun so many years ago. As the twin suns of Zandralis set on the horizon, their golden light bathed the city in a warm glow. Above, the stars shimmered with the promise of new worlds to explore, new challenges to overcome, and new alliances to forge. Humanity had not just saved Zandralis, they had redefined what it meant to belong, proving that even in the darkest times, the spark of hope could ignite a legacy that would burn brighter than ever.